Today, we're going to unpack one of the greatest economic comeback stories in modern history. I mean, how did Germany go from total ruin to the absolute powerhouse of Europe? How did they pull that off? Well, let's dig in and find out. Okay, first, just look at this. On one side, you've got Germany in 1945. We're talking cities that were just rubble, industries completely wiped out, a nation in absolute ruins. And then you look at Germany today, a world leader in manufacturing, a hub of innovation, a giant in global trade. The difference is honestly staggering. It seems, well, almost impossible, right?
So that's the big question we're tackling. How on earth did this happen? And this isn't just going to be a boring history lesson, I promise. Think of it more like an economic detective story. We're going to follow the clues, piece by piece, to really get a handle on the strategies, the mindset, and the key moves that powered this incredible turnaround.
Our investigation starts with clue number one, and it's the most important one, the blueprint. You see, this recovery didn't happen by accident. Oh no. It was meticulously planned, and it was all built on a pretty unique economic philosophy. This whole period is known by this fantastic German word, Wirtschaftswunder. It literally translates to the economic miracle. But, that name is a little bit misleading. This wasn't some kind of magic trick. It was an era of incredibly intense, strategic, hard work that just blew the rest of the world away with how fast and successful it was. And the engine driving this miracle was an idea called the soziale Marktwirtschaft, or the social market economy. The best way to think about it is like a hybrid system. It has all the power and dynamism of free market capitalism, but it's wrapped in these strong social safety nets, things like worker protections and unemployment benefits, to make sure everything stays stable and fair for the long haul. And they executed this plan step by step. It all kicked off in 1948 with a really bold currency reform that basically stopped runaway inflation dead in its tracks. Then vital aid from the Marshall Plan came in, which helped rebuild all the factories, and that sparked a decade of just unbelievable growth. By the 1960s, believe it or not, West Germany had achieved full employment. I mean, what a climb in just over 10 years.
Okay, so we've got the blueprint. But who was actually, doing the building? That brings us to our second clue, and this might just be the secret weapon of the entire German economic engine, the hidden champions. And to understand them, we need another key German word, the Mittelstand. Now, this basically refers to the huge network of small and medium-sized businesses in the country. But here's the thing, don't let small and medium fool you. We're not talking about your local bakery. These are often highly specialized, family-run companies that are quiet, global leaders in whatever super specific thing they do. And the scale of the Mittelstand is, well, it's immense. Get this number, 99%. That's how many of all German companies are considered part of the Mittelstand. They're not just a part of the German economy. You could argue they are the German economy. And their impact on people's lives is just as huge. The Mittelstand employs roughly 60% of the entire German workforce. So you see, they're not just economic entities. They are the main engine for jobs, for stability, and for prosperity all across the country. So what's their secret? Well, it really comes down to a different way of thinking. Since so many are family-owned, they care way more about long-term stability than about hitting quarterly profit targets for shareholders. Their strategy is to find one very specific niche, like a special kind of industrial valve or a high-tech medical screw, and just become the absolute best in the world at making it. And this is all fueled by a massive commitment to vocational training and a relentless focus on selling their products everywhere on the globe. All right, so we have the economic blueprint and we have the industrial backbone. But then, in 1990, this whole system got put through the ultimate stress test. Our third and final clue isn't a policy or a type of company. It's a massive historical event, German reunification. When the Berlin Wall came down, it was obviously a huge political celebration, but it was also the start of a massive economic headache. The West German economy was modern, wealthy, and efficient. The state-controlled East German economy, it was inefficient and basically crumbling. So the question was, how in the world do you stitch these two things together? This quote from the time just captures the challenge perfectly. They had to somehow fuse two economies that had been on opposite sides of the Iron Curtain for more than 40 years. I mean, nobody had a playbook for this. It was a massive economic experiment. And honestly, failure was a very real possibility. But Germany went all in. They kicked off one of the biggest investment programs in history, pouring literally trillions of dollars into the East. They completely rebuilt the infrastructure. We're talking roads, communication networks, power grids, the whole shebang. It was a painful, unbelievably expensive process, but in the long run, it worked. It forged a single, much bigger domestic market and ultimately made the whole country stronger. Okay, detective work is done. We followed the clues, we have the blueprint, the hidden champions, and the reunification test. Now it's time to put it all together, reach a verdict, and take a quick look at what's next.
So here's how all the pieces of our puzzle fit together. The miracle blueprint laid that stable foundation. The hidden champions, the metal stand, built the powerful export-driven engine on top of it. And finally, the reunification forge hammered it all into an even bigger, stronger economic power. You really needed all three. Each part was absolutely crucial. And the result? Well, it's the incredible story we started with, a complete and total transformation. The combination of these three pillars is what explains how a nation could literally rise from the ashes to become the economic anchor for an entire continent. It is, by any standard, a pretty remarkable achievement. So, Germany brilliantly solves the puzzle of its past, no question. But the world today is throwing a whole new set of challenges at it. Things like an aging population, a massive transition to green energy, and just fierce competition from all over the globe. And that leaves us with one last big question. Is the very same economic model that built this powerhouse the right one to solve the challenges of tomorrow?